Desert Wives. Mariah's big announcement, season 13, episode 5, and look at us. Within 12 hours of watching the show, we're filming a recap. Woo! Because
our recap this week consists of dancing for a song at a wedding.
You remember the episode?
Immigrating to a new place because they don't like Las Vegas anymore. And they want to pay more and have less house.
So they're looking at Flagstaff, Arizona. And when I heard they were moving to Flagstaff, we had looked there. When we had to move last time.
Cody's
come on.
Awful hair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I finally figured out it's like fluffier, but he shaved the sides. And my guess is he shaved the sides because he's got the right here that's going back. And so it's like, well, if I shave the sides, it'll just look like a... But it looked particularly bad. I don't even know what's going on. And I don't really care about his hair. It's always been terrible. So anyway, what I was saying though is when they said look at Flagstaff, when we were looking to move last summer, Flagstaff is one of the places that we also looked at.
It is.
With basically everywhere west of the Rockies, because we're familiar with the climate. That was cheap, and we very quickly looked at Flagstaff. We had been to it before, and we're like, oh, it's really expensive. We couldn't find anything that could have us, there was just no way. And so when they started looking at Flagstaff, when he first was like, oh, prices are going up, which is totally true, I was like, okay, well, they don't really have any money, so sometimes you have to move because you don't have any money, so... But then he's like talking about Flagstaff, and I was like, it's really expensive, which is exactly what happens. They can get a smaller house, like 1,000 square feet, for 50% more. Like,
it's not like they're a Mormon polygamy family and have like a ton of children. Oh wait.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's your point with that?
They need all the space they can get.
Okay. You're really getting on my nerves this morning.
Did you sleep well?
I did not sleep well, and
Did
you
that
know,
have something to do
and
with
you
this?
know that. Gosh. So anyway, Mariah and Audrey are moving in with Mary, and let me just summarize this whole discussion. He's like, we don't allow our kids to cohabitate. Mary is thinking in her head, I'm not doing anything to piss off my daughter. I have one child. She's the only person still talking to me or pretending to like me at all.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. They could have sex on my couch and I don't care as long as I have someone who still loves me or pretends to love me. She doesn't say that though. What she says to Cody is, well, I've already offered the room to Audrey, and I will offer it again. And that's about it. My guess though is that now that they know where they're going, they're going to probably just move directly to Chicago. But I just thought it was funny because it was like, I felt like she's thinking, I'm not going to say it, but you're not even visiting, you're not even treating me like a wife. You don't get a say in this, is kind of what I thought. And then Christine and Mary sit down. Now, anyone who's watched my recaps, you can go back to the original ones 5 years ago,
Nobody's
4 years ago. I know no one's going to, but you'll see that I did not like Mary for a long time. I thought she wanted Robin in the family, and she just got what she wanted. She always got what she wanted until Robin joined, and slowly Robin has moved up the hierarchy, and Mary has moved down. So I am not some Mary apologist. She's not really my favorite, but that doesn't mean that she's always wrong. So Christine, who first of all, can we talk about Christine's voice? And then the way she talks when she's trying to be serious, excuse me, I spit everywhere, is so over the top. And this whole, like, she tells Mary, you just have a lot of baggage and you're very heavy, and whenever you come into the room, it's really difficult for everyone. What I take from that is, it's all Mary's fault, and so we're going to exclude her from stuff, and we're going to make it her fault for excluding her from stuff. And so it's a little bit like, well, that's sure convenient.
Isn't it?
They can exclude Mary from things and then make it her fault, and that doesn't really seem fair. And the other thing was, Mary at some point basically said, I feel like all the problems are my fault. And Christine's a little bit like, and it's like, well, that's not true. But Christine brought up something. Let's talk about revisionist history, because we saw it. So she's talking about when Truly was born, I really pulled back from everyone and all that. Well, Well, the thing she doesn't mention is that Truly was born when Cody was courting Robin. So I remember because Christine was giving birth, and instead of Cody going straight to be with her, he swung by Robin's house to check on her first. And people were like, wait, seriously? So they're leaving out a big factor that a lot of Christine's problems had to do with Robin, but that's not how it is now. So, and I don't get how they can possibly, oh, and then Cody goes on about, well, my problem with Mariah is that this is the first person she's dated. And I'm like, Cody's married every person he's ever dated. So I don't know that he can say anything. And so there's that. Gabe's really upset, which I feel terrible for. You know, he's counting on getting this position in the wrestling club so that he can get scholarships because they have no money. And now they're looking at moving to some place that's 50% more expensive. I just don't, I mean, like, I like trees as much as the next person, but there's no place else. You can move to Grand Junction. It's cheap. Anyway, so super expensive. They didn't have any money to loan Mary, which is fine. I mean, you know.
They have a ton of money to buy new houses.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
And that's why I talk all at the beginning over her, because I don't get a word in.
Oh, please. How many times did you get up with the baby?
Almost
exactly.
as many as you.
Oh, please. Anyway, hit us up in the comments.